Halloween is amongst us. It's right around the corner and I'm super stoked because this is when I finally get to pull out my box of like old and nasties so that I can do some spooky makeup looks. And so today I'm going to show you how to be layering latex, liquid latex with tissue paper. I use toilet paper because I'm gross. I mean, it's clean, so I'm not that gross, but you can use like Kleenex, any kind of tissue, you know, paper like this. And I'm going to show you how to layer it so that you can make some cool makeup looks. So for today, you will need liquid latex, the toilet paper. I have 4 squares here. I usually only use 1 to 2, but I have 4 just in case. And then I have like a million Q-tips because I use these to put everything on, whether it's like the fake blood, the latex, anything that needs to go onto my skin for this look usually is applied via Q-tips because I have no better options. First things first, let me see what the state of my latex is. And the answer is, since it's older than my channel, not very good at all. You can see it's very clumpy. That's because it's old. Usually it would be more of a liquid if it was new. Let's see if I can. Yeah, you see that? That's nasty. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with it anyway because this will still work. Oh yeah, now it's more just like a jelly or something. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do is just layer some on and then take a little bit of this toilet paper and just stick it on. Oh, I'm gonna I have 2 plies, so I'm gonna unlayer that for a second. And then I just take more latex and I put it on top. And you wanna, you see how I'm spreading it onto my actual skin and not just on the toilet paper. That'll help it stick. I'm gonna just make sure I got one nice solid layer on top of all that toilet paper. And then that's when you go in with your next layer and lay it again. Thank you, chickens, thank you. They're super interested in what I'm doing here today. And then just again, and you're just gonna do this for as many layers as you see fit, and it kind of depends on what you're working on, what you want your final look to be. If I had any advice for people who are trying to do special effects makeup, it would be know what your storyline for your look is prior to actually working on the look. Because if you know what your storyline is, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, it could just be like, I know that this wound was a big knife gash. You can start to kind of know what it's gonna be prior to starting. It's kind of like when you do a sketch for an art piece. You want to kind of have an idea of what you're working on prior to working on it. That way you can make sure that it turns out the very best it can. And the goal is to saturate the tissue so that mostly the toilet paper is supposed to just give it structure, right? The latex is doing most of the work here. The toilet paper comes in and helps give it support. Okay, this time instead of doing a whole area, I'm just gonna mark out where I want my gash. Now here's the key. The key is that you have to leave some of this space without latex. That way I know that's where I want my cut. So now I can go in, take my TP, and lay it down. No, my strips blew away. Okay, I'll go get them after I soak these with latex. Gotta be careful not to catch this other layer. I'm gonna bend that back and soak that up. You guys didn't see it, but I sat down too fast and this picnic table tilted. And now I got latex back here and over there. Yeah, we'll be fine. I guess that's the time for me to talk to you about cleanup when it comes to this stuff. Latex is fine if it's on like smooth surfaces, like a counter. Probably it'll be okay because you can peel it up later. On carpet, you get that stuff immediately. There was one time I spilled my latex on my carpet in my room, and it's still there to this day. I'm gonna just use this best I can. So yeah, but even if it's on a smooth surface, I would try and probably clean it up as fast as possible. Just in case. You never really know how it's gonna react, so you might as well just, you know, dang it, I caught. Whatever, I'm leaving that there. Prevent while you can. You can see that over here, the latex is starting to turn kind of yellow, and that means it's starting to dry. It's still a little bit sticky. I think for the most part it's dry, so basically I would just go over with a powder, any kind, just to make it so it doesn't stick a bunch to like any other surfaces. I do not have any powders with me out here, so I'll grab that later, but I'll finish this first. With latex, you do not want it to touch hair because it will rip them out. I find that arm hairs are fine. I've never had a problem with that. So I do stuff like on the back of my arm, and I still have arm hair, so. And that's when I come in with literally no tools whatsoever. And I'm gonna just start kind of trying to, well, actually I'm gonna wait, never mind. Ignore my advice completely. We're gonna let this dry. But you can see that underneath there is like a crack, right? Where stuff isn't really sticking. That's because I didn't put latex there, so it's not gonna stick. Now while that dries, I'm over here. We're gonna talk about this one. So I found, I think that's a foundation. I don't know, I have eyeshadows. Whatever that is. Wet brushes, but I don't want to accidentally ruin them on my latex, so maybe not those. And then, oh, I found Paul. There's Paul. And some liquid foundation. And whatever the heck this is, which is also foundation, but I think it's in a closer shade to my skin, which is what I'm gonna go for. Now, using the power of art and hopefully probably some magic, because I don't really know what to do with these, I'm gonna make it look like these crazy things are more skin color. Specifically, we're starting with this one because this one hasn't really dried yet. It's getting there, but it's not done. Oh my gosh, cat, stop. Hey cat. You joining me? Okay. So now I have a watchman. So if you can excuse my nasty color matching skills, 2 tips based on what I have just done today. Number 1, don't use a foundation that's like a heck ton shades different. Like, there's a difference there. If I was patient, I would have just used this, but it's not coming out, so that didn't happen. And then if you have like actual foundation that actually matches your skin and isn't just inherited from someone who didn't like theirs, that also helps. But this is pretty close, and I think on camera it looks redder than my skin normally, but we're getting there. It's fine. I think the biggest problem is right through here. If I could just kind of lighten that up a little bit. It works for what we're doing today. Better products would make it look better, so do keep that in mind. But basically, yeah, now I have just this layer of skin, quote unquote, on my person, and I think that's given over here enough time to dry, so I will do this next. Sound like a good idea, Kat? Yeah. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna actually suck it up and make sure that I use this. There we go. That'll probably be enough. Because I feel like it would have made it a lot easier had I just done it right the first time. Here we go. So you can see that this is also way darker than me, but it's not as dark, so it will be easier to match my skin. And basically I'm just covering up all the latex. And now I'm gonna go back in with this stuff and layer that. Maybe. I wish this was a cream, or not a cream. What do I wish it was? I wish it was a powder. What is on? Okay, well. I'm gonna dab some of this off. There we go. And then just keep layering. So now you can see that there's actually kind of a dent here, and that's where you can kind of start to peel it up just a little bit. And now I can color that in real good. And then same with this other side, just peel that up. And now I have a hole in my arm. Look at that, that's nasty. So you can see, okay, so here's where I did the really extra dark foundation, and then I covered it up a bunch with my lighter one. And then here's where I did the not so light, and I also didn't take as much time because I wasn't as worried of it being too dark. If I took a little bit more time, it might match a little bit better, because you can tell it's a little bit red, but this one, I'm good with this because it's mostly just showing you guys what it kind of will look like if you put foundation over it. If you have better foundation skills, it will look better. That's just how it works. Anyway, so this is how you layer latex. Remember that if you're layering, like latex will stick to itself, so if you're doing something that goes, like pretend I was trying to do a gash from my hand down to here. If I were to do that and then bend my hand, it would now be stuck like that, right? All these little wrinkles would be like that, unless you cover it with powder. If you powder your latex, it won't stick. But keep that in mind. But yeah, basically it's just latex, tissue, saturate that tissue with more latex, lay another layer until you get it as thick as you want. And I like 4 layers. And I was just using 2-ply, and I split the plies. Oh my gosh. Another one. Anyway, I just split the plies, and so it was just 1-ply. Anyway, so it's 4 layers of 1-ply toilet paper, or 2 layers of 2-ply. And I like to split the layers because it just makes sure that the latex into all of it. Anyway, I hope this video helped, especially with Halloween coming up. Like, heck yeah, love Halloween. Hopefully you guys can do some super spooky makeup looks. Sir, can you please get out of my shoot? I don't want you accidentally getting latex in your fur, because I know there's some around. Anyway, yeah, so thanks for watching. Hope this helps. See you guys next week.